Hello guys, how are you? Our topic today is about force graphical user interface in Java programming, and we'll start it from the scratch how to do that. So you can use your Java IDE or your favorite Java environmental editor. Maybe it's not environmental, but environment editor, or maybe you can use the online Java programming, what you call this IDE. So I will go here to type the online Java compiler. And well, first, this discussion will focus on two parts. We're creating a prototype in Java using the text-based type of output. At the same time, we'll transfer that using the graphical users interface. Okay, I'll be using here, of course, this is my favorite one. Now, our target is the same thing. Well, this is intended for the computer information technology students or wanting really to learn about Java programming. And same time, well, of course, now this is how we push students to take advanced programming, and they will produce their own custom project based on Java. Now, our target is to create a program. What's that program? To what? Ask the user to enter the last name. Okay, this is very easy, and then have their first name, and of course we have the course. We have three field names right here. So we will ask the user to enter that, but we need also to invoke, of course, a Java class that is the scanner, of course, class. This is where we need to invoke the methods for next line, because we are entering the string. Okay, let us proceed. Now, what's next? Okay, so we start here, import .java, oh, sorry, java.util.scanner. Beautiful, right? And then we need to declare our class here public. Let's say public class, and then we have here entry. Okay, entry data. So this is quite easy. And in my previous tutorial, we're discussing about the OOP, but this time our target is to just create a plain type of programming in Java to make it more intuitive for the end users, especially for those students who are starting their Java lesson. Okay, now we will invoke here. First, we'll use here public static void, sorry, main, and then we have here string args. Okay. After this, well, we will start now to ask the user to enter, of course, the name and, of course, the last name in the course. So what's next? So we need to use the scanner class and then declare, of course, the object here to instantiate this thing. We need to use that input, or you can use your name. Input equals to new scanner, and then call the system.in. Okay, what's the purpose of this? This is where we use the IO input output for asking the end user. Okay, for the data entry. Now let us use this out the print line, then enter what? Well, of course, we need to enter the last name. Okay, and then of course we will also declare the variable. Okay, you can declare the variable right here or after, of course, the scanner. So since these are all string, we need to use the string, what you call this data type. So string what? String last name. Okay, let us create a variable right here. And then string what? F name. Sorry. And then we have here string what? Let's say we have, of course, the course. Okay. So next is we need to what? Use the L name, and then input, then next line. All right. This is the method. Okay, please check my previous tutorial on this, and then we copy this. Okay, we copy the print enter last name, and we have here F name. So we need to use the F name here, and then the last part is, of course, we're gonna infuse, of course, the course. Of course, after this we will convert this as a graphical user interface for an actual application. So this part of learning process wherein you understand more how to communicate with your Java syntax. Okay, so this is the course. Now, the algorithm is very simple. Enter last name and first name in course. At the same time, we're gonna print also this last name in course. How to do that? So we will create a separator right here. Okay, system.out print line. Then we have here. Okay, results. These are the records. This is the record. Okay. Now we will print the last name and first name, and of course, remember this is not we're talking about structured programming. It's not yet OOP. Okay, our target is first to convert this into a graphical user interface. So we're gonna print the last name, first name, and course. So we have to print it system dot out at print line. Then we have the following. Okay, let's say last name. Reprint the last name, and then plus the separator plus. Of course, you need to bring down, of course, the variable. And then this is to save our time. We're gonna copy this. Okay. So we have here, of course, the last name, and we change this string here, convert to first name. So change this to F name. Be sure that, of course, the variable is quite correct. You say that's correct. I'm sorry. And then we copy again and enter, of course, the course. And then we have here, of course, bring down this variable at the bottom. So we have here the course. So this is our target. And at the same time, of course, we are almost done here in this basic programming of Java lesson. Now let us run this program. Okay, it's very simple, structured programming, but again, our target is to convert this into what? An actual application using the graphical user interface. Let us run this program. Okay, you can use your own IDE if you want, of course. Enter last name. So we'll enter last name here. Let's say I will enter Fuentes. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm waiting for the right. Of course, I'm waiting also for the server to communicate with my data here. So Arnold, enter. And then course is BS Computer Science. Sure. Now this will be printed. Okay, this is our target. And at the same time, our next topic is, of course, how to, how now, this is part of prototyping. What is a prototype? A prototype is a finished product, but it is not yet published. It requires more validation and, of course, scrutiny from the members. Okay, that's the purpose of prototyping. Now this is the code. Okay, and we use, of course, the scanner here as part of our class, and this is the name of our program. At the same time, this is a calling program. Well, that's very obvious. And we create an object for the scanner. We instantiate the input statement here so that we can invoke, of course, the system.in. We declare the three variables at the top: last name, first name, and course. At the same time, we, of course, we ask the user to enter the following, and after that, well, we print the last name, first name, and course. So that's how we end in this first topic, and of course, we'll proceed to the next topic. Next part of this discussion is, of course, we have to apply the real thing about Java programming, and this is basic. So we will open a particular program that will, of course, lead us to something else. I mean, we need to improve this program, and actual, of course, actual applications of the graphical user interface without using, of course, your Eclipse, without using your NetBeans, but again, we write it from scratch. Okay, how to do that? But before we start here, well, of course, I want you to check first my YouTube channel, and at the same time, you check first my previous Java tutorial on graphical user interface building from scratch. Okay, let us move right here, and I will open my. Okay, now this is the program that we'll have to write now. Now, let's go back right here. So this is the code in Java that we need to transfer using the graphical user interface. So we need the following. We need to import the following classes. For example, the javac.swing, java.abstract Windows toolkit, and of course the event listener, because we will, of course, provide a button here to print this last name, first name, and course. So how to do that? Now let us move here. Okay, and the first part is, of course, import. Okay, let us make this be bigger. Import the javac javac.swing. All right. So we will first, uh, convert the syntax to Java so that we can see all these reserved words and, of course, those methods that will be infused in this program. Okay. MN, we have Java here. Okay. As you can see, of course, we have the reserved words of import, and, of course, the blue colored is just part of your class. Now, we will again copy this. Okay. I want to save my time, of course. V, and then we have to change this to what? AWT. So we need first to declare everything at the top. So AWT stands for Abstract Windows Toolkit, correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have to import what? And then Java. Okay, java.out, and then we have here the event. Event is to call the action listener. All right. And then import the Java. Okay, we'll copy this now. Then again, java.out, and then we have the event, and of course action event and action listener. This is action event. This is to trigger event every time that, of course, we call our button. Now, what would be the class here? Public, let's say, I will say student entry. Okay, this will be our class. Okay, public class. I'm sorry. And we have here, of course, number one. Now, this is where the area wherein we declare, of course, the different what you call these snippets or widgets from the Java program. And here we are not here to allow the cut and paste because it's still of course the editor. So we gotta use the private and then of course JFrame. Okay, JFrame is just like what's a JFrame? Of course, this part of the this is your constructor actually, for the frame. So this is our variable here. We need to use the frame. Okay, and you can use any variable if you want. But mine is to use the frame so that I can label it. I can label it inside of the program automatically. Okay. So next is, of course, we need to use private, and then we have to use the jtext field. Why jtext field? This is where we write our input. The same thing here. This is your text field right here. So we're gonna write our input right here, jtext field, and then we'll have to declare a variable here, text what field. Okay. Next, so we have the private what. We'll copy this. This is part of your name, and then we have of course the last name text field. Sorry, name text field, and we have name text field. Okay, then we need to use of course so we have here the text field and of course the course text field. Okay, this is only part of our translation of the program. Okay, now next is we need to create the button. The purpose of the button is part of our event to trigger. Okay, so you have here the G button. This is the constructor for that. I call this constructor because you're constructing something for the button. Okay, this is the variable. The same thing that you are declaring the variable. Okay, and well, of course, this is part of your methods that, of course, hoarded in this class. Okay, now we will use the public. Of course, we need to bring down here, of course, the name of our class, that is student entry. All right. So this is now the start of our constructor. Remember, the name of constructor is the same name to the class. We discussed that already in our previous lesson. Okay, now let us go right here. Okay. What's next? So since we have already the student entry right here, so it's about time that, of course, we need now to instantiate our program. So instantiating means, well, of course, we have the frame there, and then we have to frame. This is already instantiated, okay, and then we have to use the JFrame, and then we will put here, of course, this is where we create the frame for the class. At the top of the dialog box, you can see the name. Let's say this is your student entry. Okay. Next, after that happens, so we have here the frame again. Bring down the frame and then frame set. Let's change the layout. This is the methods of the frame layout. Okay. Set layout. Set layout, capital letter. Okay. Set layout. Layout. And then, sorry. So we're gonna set the layout here and then, of course, new flow layout. This is where we read, of course, the frame and the JFrame and the elements of the abstract window toolkit, and of course the javac. Okay, and then we're gonna set, of course, the set of the window and then set size. So we're gonna set this by 600 to 400. Okay, that's a bit wider. And after that, of course, we need to use the frame again. Okay, the purpose of period in OP is this is to access and of course to read the methods. Okay, or the members of the class. Okay, so we have here set and then default. What's the purpose of set default function here? Set default close operation. Okay. So set default operation, this is where we put the button at the top of the frame, so that every time that we close that, there of course we pressed what? Letter X. Okay. So that's close operation. Remember, we're using the camel casing statement here. Set close operation. Okay. For every words, but of course that's capital letter. And then we're gonna use the, of course, here the what? J frame that. Okay, let us check that. JFrame that what? And then we use the exit on close. This is your constant. Now, well, of course, if you wanted to learn about GUI, then you need to build it from the start. Now we will use the container here. And then this is how we create the content pane. The purpose of content pane is that's where we put everything inside the pane, and then at the same time we fuse everything, the widgets and other parts of your GUI so that it will come out in your as part of the output. It will prompt you. Okay, content, get content. This is the command content. Okay, pane. All right, so we have the container content pane. Okay, this is the object, and then we have here the frame get content pane. Okay, so we have to add later on all these frames. It has a get content pane by calling, of course, the add method. Okay, so let us first particularly put the background right here. Content. Okay, pane. As you can see, we have the content pane at the top. You see, and then we have the set background here. Okay, as you can see, there are lots of things that you can do for graphics user interface, and we have to use the color. And at the same time, well, of course, now this is your predatory for your career. If you want to pursue your career in what you call this in mobile development, well, of course, you can use this thing. Okay. All right. So we have the content pane right there. Of course, no. Wait. I need to check it first. So we have the content pane. Then, okay, let us check it again at the top. Okay. I want to be sure that this is correct. Okay, I want to check first the website. I just want to check if we have the following. Let me check that. Of course, I will check that website right here. Okay, oops. And then we have here the last name, first name. Okay, that's right. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so let's proceed right here. Now, it's about time that we need to, of course, the next part is, of course, we need to instantiate also our last name and first name. How to do that? Okay, let us proceed right here. So let us put there. Of course, let us bring down this thing. I want to be sure that everything's okay. And of course, that is the advantage of using the cut and paste. And we need to instantiate, of course, the last name and first put it here, right here, text field. As you can see, we have the following 15 here. Okay, 15 is the number of characters that will be infused, okay, for the text field. Can you get me? So we have the text field and at the same time, last name text field, and we have the name text field right here. Okay, let's copy it first. Text field, and 15. Then we have to bring it down, course field. Okay, then name text field. Okay, what happened here? So we have here course new. Okay, new what? Wait, new J text field. Okay, so we have here 15 also. I don't know why. Of course, we have here the last name text field, and we have, of course, what's that last name text field. I want to be sure that everything is right here. Last name text field right here. This should be, a white color, and I want to be sure that this is not part of the last name text field. This is not part of the reserved word. Okay. Okay. Let's leave it here. There. Okay. Later on, we just fix it. What happened to this? Because the color of this is, of course, white. Okay. And I don't understand why, because that is the. Okay, that's it. Now, we need to create, of course, our event listener right here. So what's the purpose of events? This is where we trigger, of course, the action for the keys. So we have the submit button. I want to be sure that we have here the submit button. Okay. For sure, please follow, of course, the camel case uh, character here. And then we have to set what's set. We have your background, and then week. Then background is equals to color, then black. Okay, you can choose your own what you call this preference for that. And well, we need to check also the what you call this the foreground. So what is the purpose of foreground? That's where you provide color for your font. Okay, first color. Set the background is the background color, and of course we need to use here the white color. Okay. So we have here first the background for our frame yellow, and background for the color for the button is black, and white for the text. Okay. So now the purpose of using this frame here, of course, we use the content frame here because this will allow us to create a container that all of these widgets will be added to the frame. So we can use frame.add. Okay, so that's the purpose of that. So we're gonna say new. Okay, new, and then of course that's the constructor. So we have to j label, then okay, last name. This is now the text label to be entered. Okay, next is frame add. Okay, let us copy this. Then copy this. And then we have how many? So we have to start it here frame add, and we have here of course frame add, and then we need to put here of course what is that? So that is the last name text field. We like to copy this. I want to be sure that everything is all right. So that's the advantage of using the cut and paste. Okay, and then we have here the name, first name. All right, this is first name. Okay, after that we're gonna add of course the okay, let us label that. Then we have to add of course the now we have here the first name. Let us go back at the top. I want to be sure that everything is correct. All right, next is of course we have the name, we have the first name, we have the last name, first name. At the same time we need to enter the course, so we copy this, and of course this is part of the label. Label is where you create static text for that. JText field, that's where you encode the text, encode the data, the data. Okay, so we have the course. And then we're gonna add again of course the frame here at the bottom. Be sure that you add of course the course. Okay, that's why we define here of course the content field. That's part of the container. Okay, then this is the course field at the top, so you add it here. Now there you have it. And of course the last part is of course we have to create the button, and then we need to add the button. So add button here to be triggered, okay, by action listener. Then we have here frame, then of course add, then we have here of course what's the submit button. Submit button is right here. Okay, let's check it here. Okay, then add. Next part is what's next. So we are done with this first part. The first part is first declare first all these methods, and we have the constructors. At the same time we have the snippets here. We create a container to be added in the get content pane, and here you go. Now we need to create our events. What's that event? So we need to use the submit button. Okay, submit button, and then period. The purpose of this is, of course, this is to invoke, of course, the add event listener. So add event listener is just like you are implementing, action for the button, and then we have to use what new action listener. So this is the command. All right. Okay, open and close parentheses. What happened is we have here the open, please. Now, what's next is we need to override that. What's the purpose of override? Okay, at override. Okay, now we need to go right here, and then at the same time, we not check what is the meaning of override. Okay, Google, and then we have here what is Java, and then at override. So in Java method, overriding occurs when a subclass child class has the name method as the parent class. So in other words, method overriding occurs when a subclass provides a particular implementations of a method declared by one of its parent class. Meaning to say that, of course, we need to create the notation for this now. So we have here what's the purpose of override. That override notation is one of the default Java annotation. It can be introduced in. Okay, the override notation indicates that the child class method is overriding its base class method. So, well, of course, we need to override first the main method using the class child method. Okay. So we're gonna continue right here. Okay, so let's override. Okay, we have to use what? Public. Okay, public void, and then we have here action, then perform. So we have action perform, and then we call here action event, and then E. Okay, this is where we use E right here. Of course, part of it is you can write everything here or use E for the event. Okay. Okay, what's next? So since we have the E right there, we have to create now, of course, the variable here. Of course, we have here last name to be parsed later on in our what? That's correct. Okay, if you were able to watch my previous tutorial on graphical user interface, so it's requirement really to create, a variable to be parsed later on as part of your graphical user interface output. Okay, I want to be sure that last name is copied right here. Now I want This is not a big letter, but a small letter. Okay. Now we have to use last name field. And then, of course, this is where we get the input get text. That's the functions for the graphical user interface. The purpose of that is, of course, to read information here, to be parsed later on. Okay, and then aside from string, we have to use what string, what name, create your variable here, and then will be what bringing down, of course, the name text field. This is part of our declaration at the top of the program. Okay, and then what's next? Of course, the same thing. We have to pull out the methods of get text here. Okay, get text. All right, and then we have the course. Okay, string, and then we have to change the course. Course equals to, well, of course, we want to be sure that this is correct. Then course, and then this is the method where we will put that later on in our JFrame. Okay, that's it. Then after that, what's next? Okay, so we will have to what you call this to create the frame right now in this process. Now we will of course we have already here of course those this is part of your event listener. Okay, this is where we put now the frame. So we need to declare and of course instantiate our frame right here. So JFrame, and then we have here display name. Now I want to be sure that I have already declared that display name at the top. Let's check if I have the display. Oh, I don't have the display right name here. So we need to say I will create here of course the new what you could new codes for the frame. So display. Okay, let me finish this first. Again, instantiate it. Okay, new. So new what JFrame. Then I have to check it. Okay, display information. Okay. Display information here. Okay. Now next is of course I want to check of course my G-frame layout. Okay, this is wrong because it's a small letter. That is correct. All right. Now, well, learning a graphical user interface program, it requires really for you to understand how to write basic programming in Java. And once you transcribe that, you morph that into a graphical user interface by means of your javac.exe. Please try to check my previous tutorial on graphical user interface. Now, we will bring down this display frame here and then call the method, of course, of the set layout, set, okay, layout. Now, you can see that we have set layout right there. And at the same time, we have to declare, of course, the flow layout. Okay. And then we have here the open and close parentheses. That's part of the syntax. So we're gonna have what you call this create the display right frame here. So I will set call period and then set size to okay. So this is where you get the set size for that. Okay, set size and then open parentheses and then 650 by 400. Okay, you can you can adjust this in your own preference if you want later on. Okay, next is of course I'm gonna use this display frame again. Okay, bring it down, and then what's next? So I will use again the set default close operation. We have already used this same at the top, right? The set default close operations for the frame, and this time we have here the display frame for of course the set okay default close operation. Okay, so we have to use here the frame here, and then at the same time, well, we will use of course the same thing the same thing with your frame using the exit on close. This is the constant for that. Okay, now if you're using of course the Vim, the Atom, or maybe the Sublime or Visual Studio Code, well, please activate your IntelliSense so that you can modify and of course you can easily check of course the statement. Like for example, this one, okay, this is the Sublime, so just you can see the given constants. Okay, constants are written in capital letter. Now, and what's next? So I will, what you call this, use the display frame now. Of course, I will copy this to be sure that, of course, everything is correct. And we detect errors right here. So we have to add here. Okay. So display add, and then what's the purpose of that? We're gonna add this in the J frame, or in the frame rather. New, and then J, add the J label. Okay. This is static text where, okay. This is how we, now what you call this, display, of course, the frame once we click the button, it will display to another frame. Okay, but in our program right here, of course, no, in our program, once we run this program, well, of course, we don't have the button, but of course, maybe we can ask the user to enter a letter here, pretending to be a button, and then we display the following. Okay, last name, and first name. Now, but here, well, of course, when you click the button, well, of course, this will go to another frame. That is 640 by 450. Okay, so what's next? Okay, new geo level, and then we have here to what you call this enter the last name Okay. And then what's next is plus. And then we're gonna put here, of course, the last, no, no, the last name. What's that last name? I want to be sure that, of course, everything is clear right here. So that is the variable. Oh no, that's not last name. I'm looking for the last name. Okay. The last name variable. Okay, for parsing. Next is, of course, now let us add the following. Okay, that's here. Then we have to go right here. Then add your label, and then we have your first name. Okay, first name. Then change this to what? First name. Where's that first name? Okay, we declare the variable here. That's name. Okay, okay, that's name. Then enter. And then the last part is, of course, we need to add the course. So we have the course here at the last part. Sorry. We have here the course at the last part. Okay. My compiler will be well, of course, I will not use, of course, the Eclipse or, of course, the G Creator, maybe your Visual Studio, but I'm going to use the javac and Java compiler, okay, from scratch. So we have here display add new div label, and we have here first name, and we have here, of course, the course. Okay. Okay, so we have the course. Now, to understand this, well, of course, you need to practice and to get familiarized with this command as your preparatory for your maybe if you want to become a Java programmer or continue your what you call this your continuing skills for the mobile and development application. So the syntax is quite long. Okay, and this is your training ground. Okay, now we will what? Okay, go right here display frame, and then, well, of course, for one thing we will what set visible. Okay, so we need to use to make it clear. Okay, set visible to what? True. And then we will end it right here. Now, this is where we end our program for our what it is for our event listener. And at the same time, we have to close it here. Why is it that we have the open parentheses here? It's because, for one thing, we started first using the event listener here, and this is part of the encapsulation. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's how we encapsulate all statement here. So this is the pair of that, the open and close parentheses. In standard form, we'll of course we use it here, but you're not. That's the continuation part. That's why you put the close brace in the open in the close parentheses right here. Now it's about time that we need to call it in the main program. So how to call that in the program? Okay, this is the most exciting part. So we have to use static, public, static, void, and then main. Then of course we have here public static void main. Okay. Now of course wait. I think there's a problem right here. Okay, we have to finish it first. Okay, so we have here frame. Okay, I forgot to use the frame visible. Frame set visible equals to true, of course. Okay, and then we're gonna use, of course, add finish it here. Okay, that's it. So after that, what happens? So we have to public static void main string. Okay, and then we have here args. Okay, then that's it. Okay, after that, what will happen? Okay, so we have here to check to call the main program, and then we instantiate the main program here. What's that main program? The main program is student entry, so we will use it here to instantiate the codes. For example, you can use any name. Okay, for example, let's use my name Arnold equals to new, and then use it here. That's it. So that's ends our program. At the same time, we have to close. Of course, this is where and static void main. Okay, so that's it. So we'll have to check this program and run public static void. I don't know what happened. I mean, I think this is wrong because this this void should be in green color. Okay. Anyway, let us check it later on. If the code is wrong, then well, we'll just rectify it. Okay. So file, and then we have to save it. Where to save? Well, of course, we cannot save it here in our program. So the name of program is student entry. Okay, save. That's it. Okay, let us test this code. Okay, so we'll save this first, and file save, and then we go to our of our console. So I'm now in my Java directory. Well, if you have installed your Java, JDK, and SDK, you need to check first your javac.exe and of course your java.exe. So this is my favorite. I want to compile using the terminal. No, of course, I will have to check that. Of course, the file name is, of course, student entry. Okay, I have here the student entry program. Okay, so first thing first is you need to use what javac. That's how you interpret it by means of compiling into a class. So javac, let's say student, then entry point java. Let us check if there are some errors. As you can see, we have errors right here, but it's not number 53, no? Okay, let us check what's that error. So it's number 53, somewhere right here. Oh, so we created our action perform right here. So we are not going to end it here. So instead we will what? Delete this thing. And then we will save it again. And then let's check. Okay, now we will again compile it. And of course, there are some. Why should we have lots of error right now? Error cannot find symbol. Mean to say, well, of course, there's something wrong with our statement. This is not javax, but of course, we'll change that to, sorry, wrong type at the top. We'll change that to what? Javax. Okay? That is the wrong grammar. Okay? Save again. And then we're gonna what you call this clear the screen. And then check it again. Okay? Patience is a virtue. So we have here, okay, one last part is we don't have, of course, the string symbol at the bottom. So this is wrong because this is not part of our identifier. This is used for small letters used by C++ program, right? Okay, we're gonna change it right there. Again, where's that? And then string. Okay, let's examine our code right here. So we don't have the code at the top. I mean, okay, let us check. Of course, okay, let us what you call this check it. Okay, file save, and then we're gonna what you call this compile it again. Okay, okay, there you have it. Let us check it. Java, and then we used to use Java. This is only compiled as a class, and then entry. Okay. Okay, so we have here another error. Okay, let us check what is that error. Okay, I think the error is we don't have the button here. Okay. Okay, it seems that we have a problem right here. Oh, okay. So we were not able to instantiate the submit button right here. So we have to type submit. Okay, let us check it. Submit button equals to new J. Okay, button. Thank you for the intelligence. And then we're gonna put, of course, okay, let's say click P, okay, or submit, right? Okay, let us run the program, Ctrl F, S, and then save it again, and then go right here, then let's say Java, and then student, and then entry, point Java. Oops. So we forgot the, okay, the semicolon. Save it again, and then run it over, okay, and then Java, then student, and then entry. You are not allowed anymore to put a Java because it's already part of the class now. So just leave it there. Enter. Oh, sorry. So we need to what? Backspace again. That's wrong. Java, that's student, and then entry. Enter. So there you have it. So we have here, of course, the output. If I enter my name here, of course, Arnold, then Fuentes, then of course you have the course, BSCS, then submit. So there you have it. So we have here last name Arnold, first name Fuentes, course basis. This is part of basic programming. You build your program from the starts, from start using your editor at the same time use your compiler. Okay, that's all for now. So let us go back in our code right here. Okay, let's clear this first and then exit. So let's go back right here. So this is now code. So we have here, first, please be careful to type of the following classes right here. So from the start, we have here, of course, to write our student entry, and we declare the following objects right here. And of course, we have the following, well, I can say that these are part of your class JFrame, class text field. We are using the class of javax in Java. And at the same time, we have forced to create our constructor. Constructor's name is the same name with your main class. And we instantiate the following objects right here so that we can lay out our screen, lay out the JFrame, lay out the JText field, and of course we lay out the JButton, and we provide ornaments to our frame by means of backgrounds and color. So we have the frame, and we have of course here, of course, to establish our JFrame, our frame right at the bottom. And as you can see, well, of course, we call the main the student entry in our main program by just instantiating it to any name, and then there you have it. So that this is now the code. Okay. So please don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, it seems that we have a problem right here. Oh, okay. So we not able to instantiate the submit button right here. So we have to type submit. Okay, let us check it. Submit button equals to new J. Okay, button. Thank you for the intelligence. And then we're gonna put, of course, okay, let's say click P. Okay, or submit, right? Okay, let us run the program. Ctrl F S. And then save it again. And then go right here. Then let's say javac and then student and then entry void java. Oops. So we forgot the, okay, the semicolon. Save it again and then run it over. Okay, and then Java, then student, and then entry. You are not allowed anymore to put a Java because it's already part of the class, no? So just leave it there. Enter. Oh, sorry. So we need to what? Backspace again. That's wrong. Java, that's student, and then entry. Enter. So they have it. So we have here, of course, the output. If I enter my name here, of course, Arnold, then Fuentes, then of course you have the course, BSCS, then submit. So there you have it. So we have here last name Arnold, first name Fuentes, course basis. This is part of basic programming. You build your program from the start using your editor at the same time use your compiler. Okay, that's all for now. So let us go back in our code right here. Okay, let's clear this first and then exit. So let's go back right here. So this is now code. So we have here, please be careful to type of the following classes right here. So from the start, we have here, of course, to write our student entry, and we declare the following objects right here. And of course, we have the following, well, I can say that these are part of your class JFrame, class text field. We are using the class of javac in Java. And at the same time, we have, of course, to create our constructor. Constructor's name is the same name with your main class. And we instantiate the following objects right here so that we can lay out our screen, lay out the JFrame, lay out the JText field, and of course we lay out the JButton, and we provide ornaments to our frame by means of backgrounds and color. So we have the frame, and we have, of course, here, of course, to establish our JFrame, our frame right at the bottom. And as you can see, well, of course, we call the main the student entry in our main program by just instantiating it to any name, and then there you have it. So that this is now the code. Okay. So please don't forget to subscribe and like this channel. Thank you so much for watching.